Gaming has its own language, and I don't mean normal words like controller or menu or please stop camping the only doorway, you absolute goblin. I mean the weird stuff. Words that started in old forums, LAN parties, early shooters, MMOs, tabletop games, developer mistakes, and at least one basement that smelled like warm PC fans and questionable pizza. And the funny thing is, these words are so normal now that most of us don't even think about them. Nobody loads into Rocket League and goes, before I miss this open-net, I should really consider the linguistic history of the word noob. You just miss the open net and blame lag like a normal person. But these words didn't just describe games. They changed how we talk about games, argued about games, balanced games, competed in games, and sometimes even broke games on purpose. So today we're going through 15 gaming terms that changed gaming forever. Some are older than you think, some have weird origins, and some are still used by people who absolutely should have logged off 3 matches ago. Welcome to the Checkpoint Couch, save your progress and let's get into it. Number 15. Noob. Let's start with the word that has probably done more emotional damage than any final boss ever could. Noob. Technically, noob comes from a newbie, meaning someone new or inexperienced. Merriam-Webster lists noob as shortening of newbie or newbie, with first known use around 1995. And that's the funny part, it started pretty harmless. A newbie was just new, someone learning the game, someone asking, how do I crouch while standing in the middle of a sniper lane? We've all been there, but over time newbie became noob, and noob became less of a description and more of a weapon. At first it meant, this person is new. Then it meant, this person is bad. And eventually it meant, this person just beat me, but I refuse to accept responsibility, so they are still the noob. Beautiful evolution. Nature is healing. Noob changed gaming because it gave multiplayer culture a word for the learning curve. Every player starts as one, every pro, every sweat, every guy in ranked acting like he's carrying the bloodline of esports. At some point, all of us walked into a wall, missed a tutorial prompt, or thought a boss was impossible because we never equipped the one item the game literally gave us. Noob became toxic, sure, but deep down every gaming story starts with being bad at something and slowly becoming less bad, which honestly is also my entire Rocket League career. Number 14. Pwned. Some people say owned, some say pwned, some say pound, and some people refuse to say it out loud because their soul still has self-respect. But if you were around the old internet, you saw this everywhere. Pwned, pwning, pwnage. It didn't just mean you lost, it meant you lost with humiliation attached. The common explanation is that pwn came from a typo of own. On a QWERTY keyboard, P is right next to O, so someone trying to type owned could accidentally type pwned. And because the internet has never seen a mistake, it didn't immediately turn into culture, the typo stuck. Pwned changed gaming because it captured that messy old online era where chat boxes became battlefields. The strongest weapon wasn't the rocket launcher, it was typing something stupid after the kill. It escaped into forums, memes, old YouTube comments, hacking culture, and basically anywhere people wanted to say, you didn't just lose, you lost publicly. Very healthy, very mature, very early 2000s. And even if pwned feels ancient now, its spirit is still alive. Get wrecked, destroyed, clipped, cooked, sent to the lobby. Basically pwned walked so bro got deleted could run. Number 13. GG. GG might be the smallest phrase with the biggest emotional range in gaming. Good game. On paper, it's sportsmanship, the handshake, the polite nod, the little digital bow after a match. You finish the game and type GG. Very respectful, very civilized, for about 3 seconds. Because gamers looked at this tiny peaceful phrase and somehow made it toxic. GG, GGWP, GG no re, GG easy, the fake GG, the angry GG, the GG you type while your eye twitches because your teammate owned goal 3 times and then blamed you. GG can mean good game, well played, or this match is over and I'm emotionally above you, or I am trying very hard not to throw my controller into international waters. Merriam-Webster defines GG as good game, said after a game, and even notes variations like GG no re and GG easy. But GG changed gaming because it became multiplayer etiquette. In games like StarCraft, typing GG could basically signal surrender. It was a ritual, a clean ending, the player saying, "Okay, you got me, please stop hunting my last worker like a nature documentary." And now it's everywhere. Shooters, MOBAs, sports games, Rocket League, Minecraft minigames, fighting games. In a medium full of chaos, salt, lag accusations and suspicious headshots, 2 letters can still mean, hey, we played, that was the point. Unless they type GG easy, then they deserve to step on a Lego brick. Number 12, OP. OP stands for overpowered, and it might be the most important word ever invented for people who lose and immediately open a balance discussion. In theory, OP means something is too strong. A weapon, character, build, ability, boss, or random chicken in a survival game that hits way harder than it should. In practice, OP often means I died to this and now I have a political opinion. OP changed gaming because it gave players a simple way to talk about balance. Before live service games, balance existed, but it wasn't this constant public courtroom drama. Now every patch note is a trial. This shotgun is OP, this hero is OP, this combo is OP, this boss is OP, the enemy team is OP. My team is mysteriously never OP, and that's the real power of the word. It lives right on the line between fun and unfair. We want strong weapons, we want cool abilities, we want the shiny sword to actually feel like a shiny sword. But the moment something feels helpless to fight against, it becomes OP. That one word fuels tier lists, patch reactions, balance drama, comment sections and at least 40% of angry Discord messages. OP is not just a term, it's the start of every argument that begins with, "Bro, how's this still in the game?" Number 11, buff and debuff. If OP is what players say when something is too strong, buff and debuff are words that made game balance sound like gym class and witchcraft at the same time. A buff makes something stronger, a debuff makes something weaker. Attack up, buff. Defense down, debuff. Your character is glowing blue and everyone yells at you to stand in a circle, probably a buff. Your screen is purple, your health is melting and you don't know what that tiny icon means? Debuff. Congratulations, you're now playing an RPG. Buffs and debuffs changed gaming because they turned invisible math into readable language. Games became deeper than just health and damage. Temporary boosts, slows, stuns, poison, healing bonuses, armor reductions, damage over time, cooldown effects. Suddenly, winning wasn't just hitting harder. It was about timing effects, stacking bonuses, avoiding status problems, and pretending you understand the 14 tiny icons under your health bar. Merriam-Webster's Gaming Glossary describes debuffs as making a character, weapon, or attribute less powerful, while buff is commonly used for a boost. Today, these words are everywhere. Patch notes say a character got buffed. Players say their main got nerfed. MMOs build entire classes around buffing teammates and debuffing enemies. And every RPG eventually has one boss who applies poison, slow, silence, curse, fear, emotional trauma, and probably taxes. Buffs and debuffs made games deeper. They also made tutorials longer than some movies. Number 10. Nerf. Now we get to one of the most powerful gaming terms ever, nerf. And this one has a great origin story. Ralph Costa, one of the designers behind Ultima Online, wrote that the term nerfing entered online gaming vocabulary because of Ultima Online. At some point, swords were made weaker in melee combat and players complained that they were basically hitting each other with nerf swords. That is beautiful. A balance change happened, players got mad and they said, "Bro, this sword is made of foam now." Gaming language peaked right there. Nerf changed gaming because it gave players one perfect word for the pain of losing power. When something gets buffed, someone is happy. When something gets nerfed, someone writes a 900-word post titled "Developers Hate Fun." Nerfing isn't just balance, it's emotional. Modern games are constantly updated, patched, rebalanced. Characters rise and fall, metas change. And nerf became the language of live games. Everybody wants OP stuff nerfed, until it's their OP stuff. Then suddenly balance is complicated. Number 9. Camping. Camping might be the most hated strategy that is also sometimes just strategy. That's why it's controversial. Camping means staying in one spot, usually a strong position, and waiting for enemies to walk into your trap. If you're the camper, it's holding an angle, playing smart, map control, tactical positioning. If you're the person who dies to it, it's this absolute creature has not moved since the invention of electricity. Camping became a major gaming term because multiplayer shooters needed a word for that exact frustration. You're running around, playing the game, checking corners like a responsible adult, and then one guy has been sitting behind the same box for 3 minutes, surviving entirely on patience and disrespect. But camping sits between smart and annoying. In tactical shooters, holding a position is part of the game. In Battle Royale, positioning matters. In survival horror, hiding might be the point. But in fast-paced multiplayer, camping feels like someone brought a tax paperwork to a snowball fight. And then there's spawn camping, the evil cousin. Waiting where players respawn so you can kill them again immediately is where strategy becomes a war crime in cargo shorts. Camping changed gaming because it forced developers to think about spawn systems, map flow, radar, kill camps, movement and fairness. Number 8. Frag. Frag is one of those old school shooter words that instantly smells like Doom, LAN cables and someone yelling across the room. Today most players just say kill. But in classic shooter culture, especially around Doom and Quake, you didn't just get kills, you got frags. The term has a darker military origin. John Romero has explained that frag came from Kevin Cloud and was connected to fragmentation grenades and Vietnam-era slang. Doom helped bring that word into shooter culture, and it fit perfectly. Frag sounds sharp, it sounds explosive, it sounds like something that happened in a hallway full of pixels and panic. Frag changed gaming because it helped define competitive shooter language. A frag wasn't just a kill, it was a point, a scoreboard unit, a brag. And it connects to deathmatch, another giant term from that era. John Romero is widely credited with coining the multiplayer FPS meaning of deathmatch while Doom's LAN multiplayer was being developed. That changed everything. You weren't just beating the game anymore, you were beating each other. Friendship was invented, then immediately rocket launched. Number 7. Lag and ping. Lag is the greatest villain in gaming history because it has been blamed for every possible human mistake. Missed shot, lag. Died around a corner, lag. Fell off the map, lag. Lost a 1v1, lag. Got outplayed by a 12-year-old with better mechanics and more free time, definitely lag. Now, to be fair, lag is real. In online games, lag usually means delay between what you do and what the game or server shows happening. Ping is related. It usually measures the time data takes to travel between you and the server and back, often in milliseconds. Lag changed gaming because online multiplayer made network part of the experience. When you lost on the couch, you couldn't blame a server in another country. You had to blame the controller, your brother, or the sun being in your eyes. But online, suddenly the invisible connection became part of the match. Servers, regions, packet loss, Wi-Fi matchmaking, lag compensation, tick rate, all of it mattered. Also important note, lag is not the same as low FPS. Lag is network delay. Low FPS is your game rendering fewer frames. But older games definitely used lag for everything. If the game stuttered, lag. If Crysis ran at 18 FPS, lag. If the PC screamed like a vacuum cleaner, also lag. We didn't have frame time graphs yet. If the game ran, we played it. And honestly, that's a whole separate video. Number 6. Glitch. Glitch is beautiful because it can mean two completely different things. A glitch can be a disaster, your save breaks, your character falls through the floor, the mission softlocks, the NPC you need is staring into a wall like he just remembered taxes exist. But a glitch can also be magic, a weird physics launch, a secret skip, a cursed animation, a door that shouldn't open but somehow does. A glitch is when the game reminds you, hey, I'm actually a bunch of code held together with hope. Merriam-Webster notes that the origin of glitch is uncertain. In gaming, glitch became the word for those moments where the system misbehaves. And that changed gaming because players don't just play games correctly. They test them, they poke them, they jump into corners, they stack objects, they push NPCs, they ask, what happens if I do the thing the game clearly does not want me to do? Sometimes the answer is a crash, sometimes the answer is comedy, and sometimes the answer becomes a speedrun route. Glitches created a second layer of play. There's the game the developers made, and then there's the game players discovered by breaking it. Number 5. Cheat code. Before microtransactions, battle passes and XP boosters, we had something more powerful. Button magic. Cheat codes. A sequence of buttons, letters or comments that could give you lives, weapons, invincibility, money, flying cars, low gravity, or tiny heads for some reason nobody should question. Cheat codes felt like playground rumors that actually worked, and sometimes somehow it was true. The most famous cheat code is the Konami code. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. The code is linked to Kazuhisa Hashimoto, who worked on the NES version of Gradius. The story goes that he added it during testing because the game was too hard to play through repeatedly, and the code remained in the final release. Cheat codes changed gaming because they made games feel mysterious. They spread through magazines, schoolyards, notebooks, older siblings, forums, cheat websites, and that one kid who claimed his uncle worked at Nintendo. They gave players permissions to mess around. And honestly, that's why people miss them. Back then, a cheat code felt like the developers handed you the toy box and said, "Please don't set anything on fire." So obviously we set everything on fire. Number 4. Easter egg. Easter egg might be the most wholesome term on this list, usually. In gaming, an Easter egg is a hidden secret, a joke, message, reference, secret room, developer credit, or tiny reward for players who look deeper. And the classic origin story is amazing. Warren Robinett hid his name inside Adventure for the Atari 2600. At the time, Atari didn't credit developers the way we expect now, so Robinett placed a hidden room in the game containing the message, created by Warren Robinett. That hidden credit is widely considered the first famous video game Easter egg. Easter eggs changed gaming because they made players suspicious in the best way. Every wall could be fake, every painting could hide a button, every weird sound could mean something. Every random object might trigger a secret if you interacted with it 200 times while crouching and facing northwest. Gamers became detectives, and sometimes insane detectives. Easter eggs made games feel personal. They reminded players that someone made this world and hid something inside it just for the few people curious enough to find it. They also became massive. Halo skulls, GTA myths, Minecraft secrets, Call of Duty zombie Easter eggs, Red Dead Redemption 2 details. The main game says, "Go here, do this, finish the mission." The Easter egg says, "But what if you look behind the couch?" And on this channel, obviously, we respect looking behind the couch. Number 3. NPC. NPC did not start as an internet insult. It means non-player character. Before video games turned NPCs into shopkeepers, quest givers, pedestrians, enemies, companions, and random villagers who make questionable noises, the term came from tabletop role-playing culture. The Strong Museum traces NPC history back to the role-playing games in the 1970s, especially Dungeons & Dragons, where non-player characters were controlled by the game master instead of the players. So originally, an NPC was just a character in the world, not controlled by a player. NPC changed gaming because it became the word for simulated life. In GTA, NPCs make the city feel alive. In Skyrim, they make towns feel like communities, even when they say the same 3 lines forever. In Red Dead Redemption 2, NPCs help make the world feel reactive. In Minecraft, villagers create a weird little economy mostly by potatoes and questionable noises. And I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 deserves a mention here too. I'm not trying to start a comment war about the most detailed NPCs ever, but KCD2 is one of those games where NPCs really feel like they have somewhere to be. People work, eat, go to the tavern, react to trouble, and Warhorse has talked about simulating thousands of NPCs with routines even when the player is somewhere else. Which is insane because I can barely simulate one daily routine without forgetting laundry. Good NPCs make worlds feel real. Bad NPCs make worlds feel like cardboard, and great NPCs become memes forever. And then NPC escaped gaming and became an insult for someone acting scripted or predictable, which is kind of brutal when the term originally just meant this character is controlled by the game master. Now it means you have default dialogue and pathfinding issues. Ouch. But without NPCs, game worlds would feel empty. NPCs are proof that games are not just levels, they're places. Number 2. Grinding and farming. Grinding and farming describe one ancient gamer ritual, doing the same thing over and over while telling yourself you're having fun. And the scary part is sometimes you are. Grinding usually means repeating tasks for progress. XP, levels, currency, reputation, weapon unlocks, battle pass points. Farming usually means repeatedly collecting a resource or drop. Gold, materials, mob loot, rare weapons, Minecraft diamonds, or one item with a 0.2 drop rate chance. Merriam-Webster's gaming glossary defines grinding as repetitive tasks for supplies, experience or some objective, and farming as repeatedly doing an action for rewards. These words changed gaming because they named one of the most addictive loops in the medium. Progress through repetition. You start weak, you fight enemies, numbers go up, you get stronger, you fight stronger enemies, numbers go up again, your brain goes progress bar. And suddenly it's 4 AM and you're killing the same skeleton for pants. Grinding started strong in RPGs and MMOs, but now it's everywhere. Players don't just ask, where do I go next? They ask, what's the fastest XP farm? What's the best money method? Can I automate this? How do I turn this entire world into a resource machine? Grinding and farming changed gaming because they made repetition feel like progress. Sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's comforting, and sometimes it's just numbers go up brain soup. Before we wrap this up, quick honorable mention: LAN party. Technically, a LAN party meant people bringing PCs or consoles together and playing on the same local network. But for a lot of us in the 2000s and early 2010s, it also became the spirit of doing whatever cursed computer magic was needed to play with your friends. I remember using Hamachi, TeamViewer, Skype calls, private Minecraft Java servers. I was literally the Minecraft server guy for me and the boys back then. A tiny private Java server held together by Hope, Hamachi, and a router that absolutely did not consent to any of this. And Skype was basically Discord before Discord. I remember having a group Skype call running for almost a whole week because at least 2 people just kept their PCs on. Was that healthy? Probably not. Was it beautiful? Absolutely. That era changed gaming because multiplayer wasn't always just pressing invite. Sometimes it meant becoming a part-time network engineer at age 13. And because it took effort, it felt special. So LAN parties, Hamaki servers, and cursed Skype calls deserve an honorable mention. Number 1. Speedrun. A speedrun means finishing a game as fast as possible. But that simple definition doesn't explain what speedrunning became. Because speedrunning is not just playing fast. It's studying a game so deeply that you basically become a lawyer arguing with the game code. Merriam-Webster defines speedrun as completing a video game or level as quickly as possible. But speedrunning culture grew through early online communities. Wired has written about how Doom's 1993 recording feature helped players post runs and compare times, and how Quake later became part of that early scene before Speed Demo's archive became a central hub. Speedrun changed gaming because it changed what it means to finish a game. Most players ask, can I beat it? Speedrunners ask, can I beat it faster with fewer mistakes while resetting 84 times? Different lifestyle. Speedrunning turned single-player games into competitive sports. Not always against another player. Sometimes against the clock. Sometimes against your own personal best. Sometimes against the cruel reality that one bad jump can ruin 40 minutes of perfect gameplay. Speedrunners learn hitboxes, loading zones, physics bugs, movement tech, menu timings, RNG manipulation, version differences, everything. A casual player sees a door. A speedrunner sees a suggestion. And that's why old games stay alive for decades. Because beating the game isn't the end. Sometimes it's just the beginning. The real question becomes, how fast can you break it? So, those were 15 gaming terms that changed gaming forever. And honestly, this is only the start. We didn't even fully get into Zerg rushes, rage quitting, cheese strats, AFK, meta, sweaty players, safe scumming, or the ancient forbidden art of blowing into cartridges, even though everyone says it didn't help, but I swear it helped emotionally. Gaming language is basically a museum of everything players cared about. Skill, balance, secrets, competition, optimization, rage, friendship, toxicity, and blaming lag. Always blaming lag. These words aren't just definitions, they're little pieces of gaming history. They're proof that games became more than software. They became culture, they became communities, they became arguments, they became inside jokes. And sometimes they became the reason someone typed GG easy and immediately lost all moral standing. Now, I want to know, which of these terms did you actually know the origin of? Which one did I miss? And what gaming word deserves its own video? If you enjoyed this, subscribe and join the Checkpoint crew. It genuinely helps the channel wake back up and convince the algorithm that we are not just yelling into the void with a controller in our hands. And if you want to help the couch grow even more, I also have a Patreon link below. No pressure, obviously. Your rent, snacks, and emergency energy drinks come first. But if you want to support more videos like this, gaming history, old school internet stories, weird mechanics, nostalgia, and me slowly becoming a professional couch historian, Patreon is the place where you can do that. Either way, thanks for sitting down with me. Save your progress, welcome to the couch, and I'll see you in the next one.